Good morning, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to yet another webinar Wednesday with the Cook County Small Business Source. We're going to take a little time and allow you all to have some time to get everyone into the room before we get started. But definitely wanted to say thank you and welcome. We had a great presentation set up for you all today, and we are looking forward to spending time with you and sharing this great information. So I hope you all are excited this Wednesday. Mercedes, if you could give me like an all clear when you kind of see the numbers have gotten a little steady.
I think we're holding steady on my end, it looks like. Definitely get started.
All right. Well, thank you. All right, welcome again, everyone, to our Webinar Wednesday series with the Cook County Small Business Source, where you can join us on the last Wednesday of every month to get great information and tools and resources to help you scale and uplift your small business. So today, before we get started, I just want to let you all know we have joining us one of our business service organization. You might hear me refer to them as a BSO. It's called Business Service Organization. Within the Small Business Source Partnership, we have Maricela Zambrano, through the Southland Development Southland Development Association. I always want to say corporation. It just flows better. And Erica Gonzalez with 36 Squared. So these are two of the 13 business service organizations that assist the Cook County Small Business Source in providing wonderful resources to businesses like yourself. So with that, my name is Dominique Gamble. As you can see here on our beautiful welcome screen, I have a photo of me and Maricela from the SDA at one of our events. So I always try to highlight our businesses and show the great work that we're doing here in the source. So again, my name is Dominique Gamble. If you're asking who I am the Senior Program Manager for the Cook County Small Business Source. I've been doing this work a little bit over 3.5 years now, getting close to 4 on December's roll-in. But been actually working in the field of small business for the last 19 years now, so I have a little tenure on me. And I would just say I really love what I do. I work very passionately within my community with helping small businesses and with our small business ecosystem. And not only do we manage the 13 business service organizations, but you'll hear me talk a little bit more, that we also have 34 referral partner organizations that assist us in providing resources and tools and cohorts and trainings and webinar events for all of you all as small businesses for your needs. So who is the Cook County Small Business Source? Maybe some of you have heard of us. For those of you who have not, I'll provide a quick overview of the resources that you just heard me kind of mention. Through the Cook County Small Business Source, we have a mission where our mission is to help small businesses grow. We got started in 2020 through COVID, and at that time, it was our mission to just help businesses survive. Since then, I can really say I know we're all excited that we're now seeing a shift in the small business ecosystem. And right now, we are helping to elevate. We are helping small business owners find, brick and mortar locations, access to capital opportunities because they're expanding. All great shift from what we saw when we initially started. So we provide no-cost business advising resources. We have events such as this webinar, in-person events. You heard me mention cohorts. There will be access to capital opportunities by way of grants that sometimes the source offers, not every year, but throughout the year, throughout different cycles of different years, as well as our business service organizations have access to capital opportunities that they can tap into and direct you to as well. So we have a plethora of resources. Again, together we are able to extend our reach. Together we are able to make sure that we are able to provide all sorts of resources, pretty much from I'll say the start of your business, when you want to try to get that business started, you're building it out, you have questions now, you might be a mid-level business, you want to try to grow, or you want to see what you should be doing in the next level, or, we have some businesses that are actually looking for succession planning. They might want to close some mom and pop shops. They've been doing it for 50, 60 years. We even help with that. So we are here to assist you in every age and stage of your business needs and throughout your business journey. Here's a just quick overview of some of the work that we have done throughout the Small Business Source since our inception in 2020. We have provided over $67 million in grants to small businesses throughout Cook County. We have served over 24,000 businesses by way of advising and events. Again, that's by way of the wonderful resources that our business service organizations provide that you all can tap into. Sometimes the source also hosts events, our referral partners as well. So we are definitely making sure we are providing you with different resources, avenues, teachings, information that you all can tap into to help you on your business journey. We have reached over 106 businesses. That number has grown. These are numbers as of last month. So again, we are constantly making sure that we are providing an impact. And today, I'm not going to go through all the numbers. You can see our demographic of businesses. 80% of our businesses identified as people of color, 63% identified as women-owned businesses. As you know, if you've done your research, the women-owned businesses are actually skyrocketing since COVID. So we want to make sure that we provide a pathway for them because typically they didn't have resources as far as access to capital opportunities. So we're creating a pathway in that area as well since we're seeing that jump. Also, 93% of our business owners identify as micro businesses, which is a shift because it used to be higher. So now we're actually tapping into larger scale businesses who need assistance throughout the source, which is also great too. So we're doing great work here. Here is the circle of our partners. I like it in a circle because you get to see how we are connected because we are all one. We're providing resources together. I always say we are not competing with each other, but we are here to join together to make sure that you all have what you need. So as you heard me say earlier, we have 13 business support organizations who are committed to working with you throughout your business journey. You can see throughout that circle the names of those organizations. We have Allies for Business, Berwyn Development. You heard me just talk about Maricela from Southland Association, Erica from 36 Square, Chicago Urban League, Women's Business Development. I'm not going to read them all, just highlighting some of the ones I know are well known and well named. We actually assist in over 16 languages throughout our partnership model, so we can really help a lot of different demographics and ethnicities receive the assistance that they need for their small business. And as you heard me say, we just onboarded 34 actually now referral partners this year. So doing a lot of great work. And what does the services look like? You might be thinking that I'm talking about. So again, we help small businesses with startups, might be emerging business, established businesses, with one-on-one business coaching. You can sign up with Maricela, Erica for coaching if you need help. We have group cohort trainings, marketing strategies, help you get your food certification if you're a restaurant or a caterer, assistance with accounting and bookkeeping support. Kind of like the webinar we're going to host today, help you find out your profit loss. Where do you have holes? Wherever we see a need, that's where we're trying to plug in. We're going to have I think it's a webinar next month. We were just discussing on AI tools, how to use AI to help uplift your business, legal assistance, to help you build out contracts or find commercial property, marketing support, how to build out your back-end operations to help your business flow a little bit smoothly. We also do capital access with financial literacy and financial management, as we were discussing again today. If you want to become a NWB certification, we have some organizations that assist with that. So really any and everything. I always say, I know some of my partners hate me saying that, but one organization might not have the ability to do some of these things, but what make us so connected, so jointed, and so united is if one organization doesn't work in that particular field, we can transfer you to an organization within our partnership model that does. We make sure that no small businesses drop and nobody is lagged or left behind. So that is really the heart and breath of this program, is that you can work with any of the 13 partners and still continue working with your initial advisor who you feel most comfortable with to continue the rest of that journey. So as you can see here, we did our impact survey. 81% of people stated that they would recommend the source for any of their small business needs to a family member or a friend. 70% felt that their advisor helped them create a clear action plans moving forward, which is great. We do still want to get these numbers up. They're great, but I want to see 100%. But I know that's just me. Always striving for more. 63% felt that their advisors addressed their unique business needs, which is great. That just shows you that the relationships that are being built with our partners, as well as you all as the clients, it really means a lot to you all that you feel you have someone that you can work with, who you trust, and who you can go back to when you need assistance on this journey. And that's what we're here for. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go through our impact stories, but these is just a couple of businesses that we assisted. Pink Panini is actually one of Maricella's businesses. So that's great. She since has moved on to a new venture out there called Crabs and Cocktails. You could check her out. Freedomly State of Mind is through Bourbon Business. And Miss PG Free, oh my goodness, you all might have seen her all over social media because I keep bumping into her. She is growing as well, but she came through CMSCC, Chicago Minority Supplier Development Corporation. So we have some great stories. We're doing a lot of great work. We are excited about being able to assist you all. And for those we have on the line, if we're not already working with you, I hope to soon bring you into the fold of the family. And here's the list of all of our partners. I tell people, take out your camera if you need to so you can see who's in your local area, so you can know who our partners are. The way that it works is you will go to our website, which I'll pull up later, I think right after this slide, and you can go into the intake form, fill out your information based off of what your unique needs are. We will partner you through our back end to one of our business advisors. If it's in your local area, they'll try to get you to someone that's more local. If it's a specific need, like being a minority business owner, that would be directed to someone. If it's access to capital, we have certain ones that handle certain things. So based off your need, you will be directed to our partners. And this is just us saying, welcome to the source. Thank you so much. I just love for you to put a face behind the advisors that you will be working with, which is why I added this slide. So you don't just see Maricela and Erica. You see pretty much all of our advisors here. Our marketing team is here. Everybody, literally. This is our team. So this is the face behind the source, or the faces behind the source, who help us do the work, who are really open and welcome and excited to be working with you. And here's my contact information, as well as the information for my director. If you need any assistance, you want to reach out, you take my information down, shoot me. I always say, shoot me an email, don't call me. It'd be easier to catch me because I'm always at my desk some type of way, or I got my emails up. So you can copy our information. Chris is my director. If I'm not available, you can shoot her an email or a quick call, and we can make sure we can assist you how you need. And here's that slide for you. If you would like assistance, how can you join up with the source? Well, you can go to our website at cookcountysmallbiz.org. You can use the scan code right there available for you if you have your cell phone, if you're not on your cell phone, and it will take you directly to our business advising page, as well as our intake form. Feel free, fill it out, and in 24 to 48 hours, someone will reach out to you to try to schedule your advising appointment. Please do make sure you keep an eye on your emails, because that is the way we communicate, and we will follow up with you to get you in the fold, as I said, of the Source family, and we look forward to working with you next and soon. And with that, I'm going to leave it there for a quick second. With that, I'm about to transition out. I'm going to switch it over to the lovely ladies here, Maricela and Erica, so that you all can take it next. I thank you all for joining us. And that would be all from me.
Thank you so much, Domini. I love the nice introduction about the Kukani. It's all the amazing things that are offering and that are available for all our business owners, entrepreneurs of all abilities, entrepreneurs of all backgrounds. So we're so excited to be here with you guys. So once again, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Erica Gonzalez, and I'm going to talk to you in another bit. Sorry. Okay. So before I introduce myself, I'm my colleague. So my name again is Erica Gonzalez. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Um, so we're partners in Kukani Small Business Source, and we're so excited to be here with you to bring this presentation so you can identify how to find profit leaks in your business. Because even though it doesn't matter the size of the business, doesn't matter how much money you're making every month, every week, but there is always leads, profit leaks that is going and is running your business. So it's important to identify them because that way you will see more profits instead of seeing less. Because sometimes many business owners get uh, distracted because they say, "Oh, I made 100,000 a month." Or 50,000 a month or 30,000 a month. But when they pay all their bills and when they look at the bank account, it's like, it's empty. I don't have the profit that I was expecting and why. And we're going to teach you how you can find those profit leaks and how you can improve the way you manage your financials so you will see more profit and less waste. Right, Marisela?
Absolutely. Yes, Erika. Thank you so much for that.
so, so running a small business is challenging. And so don't let hidden profit leaks drain your hard work. Once again, it's your business, so it's important that you take care of all related to your to the financials for your business. So
Thank you, Erika. Good morning, everyone. I'm super excited to be here, and I would love to take the opportunity to introduce to you today Miss Erika Q. Gonzalez. It is my absolute pleasure to have the privilege of working with Erika currently, and I have in the past before. Erika brings a wealth of experience, knowledge, and passion to her work. She currently serves as the executive director at 36 Square and has an impressive background in both business ownership and human resources. Erika has successfully managed and owned a restaurant, and her expertise snaps recruitment, team building, financial management training, organizational growth, and HR strategy. So I want to highlight those are just a few of her areas of key expertise. Erika also has earned her bachelor's degree in Spanish teaching. So this gives her a strong foundation in communication and cultural understanding, as well as earning her master's degree in human resource development, where she deepened her knowledge in HR strategies, organizational development, and employee engagement. So, Erika, such a pleasure to be working with you on this project and others.
likewise. Oh, thank you so much for being so kind and tell all this about me. Now it's my turn. I want to highlight the beautiful work that Marisela is doing and the great expertise that she brings not only to Soundland, but in this case to all of us. So she's very expert in business advising. She specializes in restaurant and beverage industries, which is a very unique niche, right? Because is one of the most complex niches, the restaurant and beverage, because it has services and but also it has employee management and also it has yeah like service and products development. So this is amazing. She's expert in compliance. So if you have any questions about like, hey, am I doing this the right way? Make sure that you reach out to Marisela because she's the expert about it. Business plan and strategy development, that's a really key skills to have because in order for you to create a plan, you need to create a strategy, right? Like a warrior. So Maricela is a great warrior. And her background is impressive. She has a bachelor's degree of science in finance, which is something super important. And also, she went to the Purdue University, where she learned the strong foundation of financial analysis and strategic planning. Once again, she's a really great strategist. She has a master's degree in MBA and concentration in leadership at Governor State University. And she has a strong foundation in leadership and organizational management. So your resume is very impressive, Marisela. I love it.
Thank you very
You
much,
have
Erika.
great experience. Okay,
Yeah, thank you. Together, we're a powerhouse, but like Dominique said, there's 13 BSOs. So please, if you have a question also, we want to welcome that and please add it to the chat. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions and also follow up. But today we're going to be talking about how to stop these profit leaks. So this session is all about helping you keep more of what you already earn. So many businesses work really hard to generate sales, right? But then they lose monies in ways that like sometimes it goes unnoticed. So in today's webinar, we will identify how to spot some of these common leaks in your businesses. Also, get a core understanding of the real impact that they have on your cash flow and growth. But most importantly, we want you to walk away with some simple, practical strategies that you can start using right away in order to fix these leaks. So it's really not about working harder. It's about keeping more of the money that you already are making.
exactly. I cannot agree more with you, Marisela. But before we continue, I would like you to see this perspective about your business. So your business obviously has many areas, HR, customer service, etc., etc. But I want you to look at the business with these core areas, like employee salaries, where your money is going in the whole business, right? So employee salaries, inventory, operational expenses, taxes, and your profit. And if you notice in this pie chart, you can see that the profit is the smallest one. But the goal is to keep it as big as possible. Usually the percentage that go into the business, it can go obviously depending on the industry, because when you have professional services, the employee salaries are higher. It can go from 40 to 50, sometimes even 60%. But obviously, it means that inventory is going to be less because it's more about the professional services than the materials used. But in other businesses, for example, restaurant, the employee salaries will go around 30% and inventory around another 30%. So, and the operational expenses, those are the expenses that are helping you run your business, like internet, electricity, gasoline, etc. Things that are related to your business, but not necessarily your inventory. And the taxes, obviously, the taxes that we have to pay, but the profit. Once again, if you're not managing your funding or your revenue in the right place with the right control, your profits are going to be shrinking every time more. And once again, as I mentioned before, even though you see a lot of money sometimes in bank and you will be like, oh my God, I'm making a lot of money. Yeah, you will be making a lot of money, but you're paying so much money your employees and you're spending too much money in inventory. Your profits are getting lower and lower. So don't get disguised by that. So I want you to keep that in mind, okay? Because we're going to be talking about these areas so you can start paying attention. Because once you know and you are learning to identify where your money is going, it's going to be easy for you to start tracking every issues. And trust me, your mindset is going to shift a little bit, but with that shifting, you are going to make a big difference in your business. Okay, so the areas to monitor. So we say salaries, right? So it's important to think about, like, do you have a control over your salaries? Do you have time cards? Are you paying the employees when they're clock in and when they clock out? There are many little things that are happening. I'm going to give you like an example. Sometimes employees, they love to, I mean, it's good that employees are professional and they like to get there early. But when is the time that you start paying them? Use an example. If my employee works in a factory and they say, well, I'm going to get there 50 minutes before my shift starts because I want to get ready and all of that. And many of the businesses like those, they start paying once they start the shift. They have to be ready so they can start promptly at the hour that they have to start. They don't pay for the 15 minutes or for the early time that the employees get there because they have to be prepared, right? So it's part of the job. Also, it's another thing is that, so imagine if you pay like for the employee to be prepared 15, 20 minutes. So you can make a rule, hey, I'm gonna pay you like 5 minutes before you get to your shift, but you have to be here like this specific time, so you have to be ready to work. And by that you are putting the rules, and then you can budget how much money you're going to be paying to your employees, because you have a setup that your employee is going to be working 8 hours a day instead of 8 hours and 30 minutes. That is going to be like draining your funding on the regards of the salaries. So that's what that is a quick example. Another example, it's important that you set up the rules for your overtime. When the employees start getting overtime? I suggest you to get in contact with an HR specialist, because that way they can tell you, or even with your accountant, what are the rules for me to start paying overtime? Like if you have a catering business, you say, well, I'm going to be doing this event, and I'm expecting to be working 6 hours, right? And you tell the people that is working with you, we're going to be working 6 hours. But what about if something happened and or the event is running 2 hours more? Are you going to tell the employees, hey, we're going to be staying 2 more hours? So it's important that you set up what is the amount that you are going to pay them, if you're going to pay them the same amount or you're going to pay them extra, so that way you can have it in your budget. Staff utilization. My words are not coming up. Make sure you utilize your employees the best that you can. There is always time slots where there is not much work. Maximize the time, and maybe they can help you with inventory management, or they can put you like organizing the business. I don't know, things that that they can do during that time, right? The goal is that you are maximizing the team that is working with you the most possible, so that way you are not wasting time and money. uh, Also, it's important that you have a really good employee management, so you are not constant turnovers, because that is something that hurts the business. Because if you have a good employee and the employee leaves, when you bring somebody else, it's going to take you time, because you have to be working there, or you have to have another team member that is going to help this employee to be up to speed. But also, it's like it means that the other employee or yourself are not going the things that you are supposed to do, and that is time and money that also is going away. So it's important that you keep a really good schedule for your employees, so that way you can budget salaries and you are in control of that expense. Inventory. Those who have inventory, even though you might do some service business or consulting, there is always inventory. Like you buy software, or you buy computer, you buy folders, or you buy specific things related to your business. That's inventory. So it's important they keep control of that. Like even the ink for the printer. So that's inventory. So it's important that you keep your expenses aligned and don't overspend on your inventory. One of the tricks that many people have in their business is like, I buy inventory enough, obviously depending on the industry, but some of they might say, for a restaurant, they say, I keep inventory enough for 2 weeks. Some other industries might say, well, I keep my inventory for 30 days. So if you keep it with that a really close range that is applicable to your business, that's really good, because that is going to help you monitor those expenses, so you don't have to sorry about that. So you don't have to have over expenses, because that is a big mistake that many times happens. Many people overspend when they say, oh, I saw like this product that is on sale. Oh, I'm going to buy it because it's on sale right now. And what happened that many of the products get expire, or they start getting, getting dust in the shelves. So it's important that you set up like a baseline. That's a trick that I want you to keep in mind. Create a baseline for the inventory that you need in your business, whether it's ink, whether it's paper, whether it's products, whether it's cans, whatever you have. Because also remember, many of the products have expiration date. So it's important that you monitor that you circulate your inventory, keep a baseline, and try to keep inventory within certain time that is appropriate for your business, whether for a week or 2 weeks or for a month. But try to keep that in mind. And the operational expenses where you pay gas, electricity, rent, mortgage, interest, credit cards, marketing, all those expenses also make sure that you monitor because the operational expenses are fixed and variable. Some of the fixed expenses are like, for example, it can be internet, it can be the rent or the mortgage, interest. So you keep those, try to see if you are able to lower those expenses. The other variable expenses like gasoline, shipping, marketing, those also try to keep a budget for those expenses and keep it aligned. If you keep control of each of these main areas, it's going to help you create like a really good budget, and it's going to help you create like a good control over the money that you are spending. So that I think that's a big overview about a business in these areas. Anybody have any questions before we continue? If you have any questions, feel free to mute yourself or put it in the chat.
Yeah, of course. I would just like to add that I really like what you highlighted, how these are just core financial areas for all businesses. So it's critical for all businesses, whether you're like a service or a product-based business. So I really like, that you highlighted that and how like salaries and workforce costs and also inventory control and operational expenses, like in making sure that you monitor this and you optimize these areas to protect your profits, improve cash flow, and support sustainable growth. So thank you so much for making those highlights.
Thank you.
Yeah, so now we're going to go over to what is really a profit leak. This is something that we hear sometimes, but it's really good to understand what it is and where it can come from. So a profit leak really is just like money slipping out of your business without any opportunities for it to grow. So like think of your business like at the visual that we have in the middle, like a bucket there. There's a bunch of little holes, right? So it's not really necessarily a big hole. It could be just a couple small ones, but there are a bunch of little holes, and no matter how much you pour into it, it's just going to be draining out. So these leaks do add up. So it's very important to be observant, to have strategies to put in place so that you can highlight where they're coming from and also illustrate how you can possibly fix these. So if we think about it, even if it's like $200 a month is one of the examples that we placed here. $200 a month is still a lot of money monthly, but now once you start adding that up to a year, that accumulates to about $2,400 a year. So now let's add that up to 5 years. So when you're working on like all of your statements, whether it's your P&L statement, whether it's a forecast, financial forecast that you have going on, it can add up. So financial leaks are very important to identify because the long-term effects of it can be draining to a business. So after doing some research, we did identify that some of the biggest, most common profit leaks are what we have placed here on the screen. They're not in any particular order, but these are most of the common areas where businesses lose money without even realizing it. So Erika talked a little bit about some of these subjects that we have on here. So for one, it's overpaying employees. So it's not really about paying fair wages. It's more about paying for more hours or roles than the business really needs, right? It's making sure that you don't have more roles than you need and making sure that you're more effective. You have the right people in the right role so that everything can be effective and efficient. Inventory waste is also a big one. I know Erika had mentioned how, things can expire, things can just sit on the shelf and collect dust. So who wants to do that? So we have to keep in mind that products do have an expiration date. So they sit on the shelf for too long, or we have the possibility of them getting damaged. This is all money just sitting on the shelf. This is all just money that at one point, if it does get expired, you then have to remove this waste. And then you're losing out on that opportunity for that money of either making a profit off of it or possibly reinvesting it into your business to cover other expenses or even invest into making it grow with dividends. Number three, it's pricing problems. So I've worked with so many businesses, and I have a lot of businesses that are very community based, and they're like, "Oh, I just want to give back to the community." But when we look at their statements, we look at their financials, it's like, ah, you're charging just way too little. So that's a huge problem. Finding a great balance is something that we recommend. Having a pricing strategy is also something that we recommend, and making sure that we revisit this also, because giving too many discounts can also be hurtful. And in addition to that, it's not adjusting, like if you don't adjust your prices, especially like during like certain social climate situations, or just, cost of everything kind of goes up. So we have to make sure that we are keeping up with the pace of the cost as well, and making sure that we're just not staying static, and we're just evolving when it comes to our price strategies. Inefficient operations. This was a common one as well, because this can be when you use too much time consuming and processes instead of streamlining your systems or using automation. So there's a lot of tools. Technology is very advanced where you can use it, where it can automate systems versus you having to pay to have someone to run this operation or the system for a few hours. And over time, once you do the what it actually will cost you, if you have like a software that does it versus a human, it can kind of make that a cost saving strategy as well. Another item is hidden expenses. So this is more like kind of subscriptions that you have and then you forgot about them, and unnecessary service fees that you no longer are utilizing. So let's say you do have a subscription to a software that didn't work for you, doesn't work for your business, and you just kind of forgot about it. You're not utilizing it, so it's not top of mind. It's, what you don't see it. It's not something that's being utilized every day or even on a monthly basis. So you kind of forget about it, and it's still hitting your account. It's still an expense that's coming out of your account on a monthly basis. So all of these things do add up. In addition, to these items that we already discussed, uncollected revenue. So this can be like an unpaid invoice or any missed charges for your services or products that you provide. So for instance, if you provide a haircut, but you also did like a shampoo and you're not charging for that shampoo wash, these are all missed opportunities, and they also contribute to your uncollected revenue. And one that I found interesting was customer turnover. So this one was a bit interesting because it's like a twofold. So losing customers faster than you gain new ones, it can be very, very costly. So I think sometimes, I know for myself, when I do a review on a business, it's like we have to make like these market research, and then we have to understand as well, like, well, what customers do I have? And it's about attracting new customers, but also retaining them, because it's very expensive and costly to find new customers rather than to keep them. So again, this is also a situation where you have to have that balance. So like the key like takeaway from all of this is that most of these leaks are preventable once you are able to highlight them and understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you, Marisela, because those are little things that if you notice, is just tuning them up a little bit, like inventory waste or over inventory is like something that you can control. Pricing problems is important you to see what is your break-even point, like how many, what is the, do you have the correct price for your product or service that you are offering, and if you want to learn more and you need more support with that, make sure you reach out to Maricel or myself so we can have a consultation. We can sit with you and analyze these practical things with you. So common areas where business lose money: pricing and revenue leaks, right? Underpricing, something that we just mentioned, right? Like sometimes when you say, well, I'm gonna as Marisela mentioned, I'm gonna give back to the community. Yeah, but I remember at the end, even though most of the business who start a business are very passionate about the products or services that you guys are offering, it's important to make money. That's the purpose of having a business, to make money. So it's important that you analyze the products that you are offering, and it doesn't mean that you have to raise the quality. It's just pricing right the product or services that you are offering. Over discounting, right? Not billing for all the work time, for collection process. So it's important that that you are checking those leaks, right? The pricing and the revenue. Expense leaks, paying for unused subscription, as Marisela mentioned it, overspending on supplies or inventory. Once again, it's important that you set up a a baseline in your products or items that you are offering. Vendor prices increasing, right? Try to renegotiate, especially now with the tariffs that are happening. So prices are going to start skyrocketing everywhere. So it's important that you do the shopping around to see who's going to give you the best price, because that way you don't compromise much the prices of your products or services that you're offering. Um, so it's important that try to renegotiate with them to see if it's possible that they can give you discounts or offer you something else that you might need. Duplicate service. Uh, Sometimes we are using a different services, right? Like for example, tools that are doing the same thing. Like for example, when you have Uber Eats, Grubhub, and all of these services, which one make an assessment? Which one is the one that is giving you the most money? Which one is giving you the best for the clients that you're bringing? Because sometimes it's more expensive having these kind of services. When probably what you can do is maybe you can hire a driver, and maybe that is going to be even more convenient with you because you are reducing the fees and you are losing the this expense, right? Process efficiency and leaks. Oh my God, this is so important. When I had my restaurant, I remember that I teach them, okay, you're going to make a sandwich. I want you to use this amount of this product, and this is the process that I want you to do it. And this is the measurements that you need to use. Well, what happens when they're not doing that? You say, for example, a sandwich, it has 2 ounces of meat, but they're not putting the meat, the amount that you are asking them. Let's say they say, oh, I'm going to be generous. I'm going to put 2 ounces and a half or 3 ounces. What is going to happen? Every ounce that they put into the sandwich, obviously the customer is going to be so happy. But what about your business? When they're using the extra meat in one sandwich, it means that you are going to be selling one less sandwich. Does it make sense? So it's important that you be clear and establish those process to make them efficient and to be in the amount that is required, so you're not overputting products or overputting extra things in a service or product that you are offering. So make sure that you are putting that in place, or make sure that you revise that, because sometimes we assume that the process is working correctly, but when you reassess it or see with a different perspective, you see like, oh my God, maybe I have to reduce this amount, or maybe I have to do this process to make it more efficient. um, Sometimes when they make mistakes, or one of the employees makes mistakes, what is going to happen? Whatever they did is going to be a waste, right? Because what about going back to the sandwich example? If somebody is allergic to a specific, for example, the cheese, but the cheese already touched the meat or the sandwich or melted with the heat, so now that sandwich is going to go into waste, right? Because you cannot give it to anybody else. So it's waste of money and waste of time also. Excess employee downtime due to poor scheduling. Once again, maximize the scheduling of your employees. Even if it's yourself, it's important that you check what are the hours that you're putting into your business, and make sure that those hours are specifically for work. Sometimes when we are business owners and we are the only person working in the business, sometimes we put so many hours into the business, but we're not being efficient. So I encourage you to create also a schedule for yourself, how many hours you're going to be working, and just dedicate that time if possible to the business, because that's important. Once again, make an assessment about your inventory. What do you currently have? What are the things? Look at the expiration dates. Overstocking and excess storage costs. When you have too many products, is money. Once again, everything that you put into your business is money that you are putting. There is money that is going away from your profits, is going back into the business. So use another quick example. I have one client that had told me, Erica, I think I have 200 pair of shoes. And I said, okay, it's good that you're doing this. So, but are you sure about it? He said, well, let me go check. When I saw him the next time, he told me, Erica, guess what? I have 400 pair of shoes. So what is going to happen? So imagine if in his mind, this client had only 2 pair of shoes, how much money represents 200 shoes? But now that he's aware of the 400 pair of shoes, what does it mean in money and revenues? What he has to do, instead of buying more tennis shoes, he has to start making promotions, start making marketing strategies, start creating things so he can start moving that money that is sitting down on the shelves collecting dust. So, and what happened with other products, right? Or other industries. By the way, what kind of industries do you have? Make sure you put it in the chat. Let us know what industry do you have to see if we can give you some specific examples. So once again, if you have any spider or damaged goods, that money going to the garbage. For turnover tracking. So it's important to keep track of everything that you're doing. Sometimes when we buy things, we say, oh, I just buy this case of tomatoes, or I put it in front of the fridge. So if you have any old tomatoes, what is going to happen? They're going to be going back in the corner. And when you less notice, they are just getting rotten in the fridge. So it's important that new inventory, you are circling the inventory to the front. So make sure you keep that in mind. Any questions so far in these areas? No? Okay.
Awesome. Erika, yeah, thank you for that. One thing I did want to highlight is I like the fact that you bring like your restaurant real life experience to the table. So that's always very helpful. And even when it comes to like restaurant businesses, like cost control, profit margin, so measuring your ingredients, like you mentioned, it's very like it's very useful so that you can make sure that you control the food cost, right? So like these big franchises do it all the time. But like so they make sure that their food is consistent, it tastes the same across the board, and they're also
Yeah.
like, they're also protecting their profit margins and their cost control. But once we relate it to like a service industry business, it's almost like also making sure that like your time is considered like a portion of an ingredient, right? So just like a
Yeah.
burger, for instance, like it has a standard patty. So services can have like standardized times and making sure that you provide this consistency and the same quality across the board when you are providing a service. So I always like that as a takeaway. Um, okay, so this slide we dedicated to how do you identify these profit leaks, right? So we really wanted to make sure that we kind of summarize. There's many different ways, but one of the first ones can be by starting to review your financials and to do a review on a monthly basis. So it's really with looking at your profit and loss statements, your P&L statements, and check for some unusual expenses. So making a comparison month to month and to see if anything jumps out. So this would kind of give you an illustration of like, okay, well, what's different from last month to this month? And what am I spending? What am I losing? So I think that is a first great takeaway on how to identify these profit leaks. In addition to that, Erika did talk a lot about like your budget, and then also making sure like not only just checking your budget, but also doing that comparison to your actual spending. So this would give you the ability to like track your inventory, also operational cost, and any unexpected fees. So this will show you where you're over and in addition to that, where you're underspending. We've talked about your break-even point. So this really comes down to how many items or services do you need to sell to cover all of your cost. So this gives you a baseline for planning and spotting any shortfalls. And you do this by doing like your total cost divided by your price of item or service, and that'll give you your break-even point. So finally, it's just to use these numbers to look for patterns that indicate any leaks. Things like overtime spikes, wasted inventory, unbilled work, or high customer turnover can also add to this. So combining the data and operational observations it will help you uncover these hidden leaks. And also, like one of the things is like, how do I turn these leaks into profit, right? How can I do like a service to my business and make sure I turn this around? So we've now identified where the leaks happen, and these are just some few like basic strategies on how to fix them. So we wanted to begin with adjusting pricing and promotions. Just make sure that your price reflect the true value of your product or service and avoid giving away profit with unnecessary discounts. So you can definitely increase your revenue per sale by doing so. Next, it's also to reduce unnecessary expenses. So this means you can do this by cutting wasteful spending, canceling any of those unused subscriptions or any of those unused services, and renegotiating contracts with vendors. This is actually one of the things that I've heard recently. People will try to renegotiate the contracts with vendors, and even if they shave off a couple $100s, that's a couple $100s that you can reinvest in your business. And if you have like more than one vendor, like that's just money that can keep coming back in, and it's not money going out. Also improving collections and customer retention. So having a clear process for following up on an overdue invoice. And it's also some way that you can make sure that you fix these leaks into profits. So it's more profitable to keep an existing customer than to constantly find new ones, because marketing is very expensive. And making sure you like putting all of those resources into that can also add to your cost. And finally, training and aligning staff properly. This is very imperative because when employees are in the right roles with the right skills, they're more productive, they're more engaged, and it's less costly in the long run as well. So just kind of like the customers, it's more expensive to do onboarding, retrain, bring in new employees, rather than to make sure that you're aligning your employee with the proper role, just to make sure that they're more productive and provide more for your business. So once again, fixing these leaks, it doesn't always mean big, complicated changes. Often it's just small adjustments that create like immediate results. But overall, it's just being observant, making sure you do those, you monitor your P&L statements, and you do all the other strategies so that you can highlight where is your money going and where are their leaks.
Yeah, those are great points that if you notice, we're repeating those strategies because at the end it goes back to the core information. So we have something amazing for you guys. This is a tool that is going to help you see month by month, and trust me, when you start populating this tool, you will see a big difference into your business because now you can see month by month what is happening. So I'm going to go quickly over the business expense tracker so you know how to use it. So this expense tracker is going to help you put the only thing that you need to do. I'm going to make it a little smaller so you can see the whole page. So this one is going to tell you, like, you are going to line here per month all the expenses that you have. For example, you have inventory. And then you can say operational expenses. Unexpected repair, etc. So when the only thing that you have to do here is put all the expenses that you have. For example, you inventory, you spend $5,000, and then an operational expense in the whole month you pay with rent, electricity, marketing, etc. You spend let's say $3,000. And then an unexpected expense that you have to repair a machine is $8,000. Okay, so here you will see how much money you have spent. Obviously, you can list all of them in here. And then the only thing that you need to do is how much money did you make that day? That month, I'm sorry, that month is monthly. So for example, you say, well, I make 25,000. Voila. Let me make it bigger so you will be able to see it. So you would be able to see it like how much money you spend per month with the revenues that you have in total and what is your profit. And when I'm saying expenses, it means also how much do you pay in taxes? How much do you, let's say you pay 2,500. So you will be able to see your revenue right here, your profit, what you're expecting profit. With the revenue and expenses, it will be easier for you to determine what is happening in your business. And you see month to month, you can compare what is happening between one month and another. And you keep track of the whole year. On the next year, you can say, well, what happened in January of last year? Well, I made this much money. Okay, you can also, it's going to help you set up goals. is going to help you set up like if something unexpected happened, and you can go back and track this month by month. And also you can make notes. For example, you can say unexpected repair. You can put the date. You can put, say, for example, it was in January 2025. So that way you can put a note for yourself and say, oh, I remember. So you can go back and track into your files and look into these expenses and see what happened. Because it's easy to forget. It's easy. Sometimes we think and assume that we will remember numbers and expenses and all of that, but no, it doesn't work like that. We are so busy, and you guys as business owners, you wear many hats. So it's important that you keep everything, that you have a tool that is going to help you see those numbers. So once again, if you need help with this tool, let us know. Let's set up a meeting, and we can happily help you with this process. So that's it for us. Thank you again for being in this webinar. We are so happy to be able to bring you this information to you. And once again, if you need to reach us, please make sure you take a screenshot or picture of this. My name again is Erica Gonzalez, 36squarebusiness.org. Make sure you visit our website so you know about all the programs or the services and resources that we have for you at no cost. This is the main phone number and my email. As Dominic mentioned at the beginning, it's better for us if you reach us by email, right, Marisela? Because through email, it's easier for us to go back. Oh, I didn't read this email, so we can go back and reply to you. And this is information for Marisela also, the website for the organization, southlanddevelopment.org, and her email. Once again, we encourage you, we have the phone number, but we encourage you to visit our organizations and send us an email. Thank you so much. Any questions? Let me stop sharing for a second.
I don't see any questions in the queue. Just a reminder for everyone here, you're more than welcome to either raise your hand and we can have you come off mute, ask your question, or you can submit it in the Q&A. One did come up while you are presenting, asking if this webinar was recorded. So I do want to share, we record each and every webinar Wednesday. And not only do we follow up with you, everyone that registered with the link, but we also have them accessible on our YouTube channel for the small business source. So definitely check out what we have there and tap into all the amazing resources. We just had a thank you come in. So you all did an amazing job. I actually have a question. If you all did not catch, Erica and Maricela are business advisors with the Cook County Small Business Source. They're great at what they do. And I would just love to know, in your experience, why is it important for businesses to, if they're experiencing profit loss issues, to work with a business advisor?
You want to answer that, Maricela?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's very important because what we do is we conduct a needs assessment, right? So like we identify like what are your hardships? What are some of the situations where you can, provide support? So one of our biggest goal is we're very strategy driven. So we want to make sure that we identify like, okay, we lead with the outcome in mind, and that's what we do. So like our goal is to really make sure that we work with each business owner, provide them confidential, one-on-one tailored consultation services so that we can help you get to where you need to be, but also allow you to and give you the tools and resources to make informed decisions. So it's very
Yeah.
important in all aspects.
Yeah, and just to add what Maricela just said, is remember every business owner has his unique way of doing business. So we have tailored customization of your business support. Like for example, if you have a restaurant or you have a manufacturing business, so we can help you and guide you and see things that you don't see it. Trust me, as a former business owner, I didn't see what were my mistakes. I didn't see what were the issues that I was having because I always see everything the same way. So in my mind, everything was perfect. But when I was talking about an assessor and somebody that was expert in that time when I had my restaurant, I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. But when I had the restaurant, I didn't know where to go to. But now that you have the source and all these beautiful organizations, it's not only us, all the 13 organizations plus the other partners that we have. Make sure that you reach out to any of them because once again, you will hear another perspective that you don't see by yourself.
That is so beautifully said. And I dropped the link if anyone is interested in setting up for business advising with working with Erica Maricela from 36 Squared and the Southland Development Authority. You can take the intake form at the link there. It's very easy. And then one of our business support organizations will reach out to you in the following few days to get started and get working together. And no, Domini mentioned this. It's all at no cost. There's no catch, and we really want you to be able to take part in these resources and grow your business.
We
Okay.
will send you the
Yeah,
tool so you will be able to apply it to your business. Okay, so it's a free tool. Make sure
definitely.
you share the recording also with other business owners that you might know that might need this advice, this support.
Definitely. And with that, it's 11. So thank you, Erica. Thank you, Maricela. This was amazing. I know I learned a lot. And I'm excited to put these into play with like what I do in my personal hobby. So thank you, and thank you all for attending today's webinar Wednesday.
Thank you,
Awesome. Thank you.
everyone.
Pleasure.
Bye,
Thanks.
y'all.
Bye-bye.